Rosh Kail, I am inspired. The sweetness, the verb, I yotzim and Alei. I honestly, it warmed me up. I speak a lot, but I don't listen as much as I used to, and it's worth it for me. Now, what I would like to, I'm a bit unique, and maybe it's worth your while to hear what I have to say. I learned in Lakewood. A lot of my life, I'm going to tell you the way and tell you locally. About 30 years ago, I got a free ticket to go to France. There was a yeshiva there of multi-millionaires. How did that happen? Big Baltic tough and varieties. Varlik was a yeshiva in Europe that was very powerful, very dynamic. The stipend was the Talmud of the Alpha from the Varlik. The Varlik it's a Musi yeshiva, and they're unique. And I'm going to tell you, I'm selling the Varlik to the world, and thousands, hundreds of thousands of people that tune in to myself, to my Rabbi Golumbek, to other people who sell what I have to give over. I'm going to give it to you tonight, and I hope the Olam will be able to get something from this. First of all, number one, I'm so impressed with every one of you. It's so, I have no words, what it means to be part of this Olam. It's a bit different than Lakewood. I'm going to tell you something now. I think that this place, now, can you please close the door? I don't want the people in Lakewood to hear what I'm going to say. I think this place is much better than Lakewood. You can't even compare. Now, please don't let that get out. I don't want to get in trouble. And I'll tell you why. There's a lot of things going on here that Lakewood just doesn't have. There's a certain maneuver going on here, a certain derech eretz, a certain edelkeit. Now Lakewood's plenty good. Don't worry about Lakewood, they're fine. But I'm going to tell you something happened to me once. In the summertime, there was a parallel Rebbe. I teach the 4th grade. Summertime, I have a different place I go to. And I noticed this, he was I'm the senior, with a white beard. And he's old enough to be my uncle. And I saw the way he's looking and, trying to teach, and not so easy, especially in the summertime. You know what I told him? I said, and he's davening, Hashem, help me, it's not working, the kids are dancing on my head. And I called him aside, he came over to me also. I said, listen to me. I want you, instead of davening so much, I want you to write down a hesped on yourself. I want you to say what a great guy you are. I heard nice things about you. I want that all on paper. I want you to blow yourself up like you're the best Rebbe that ever lived. And don't forget to write that this guy next door, Mandel, never, he's over the hill. I'm the real thing. I told him to do that, and I meant it. I said, P.S., don't think I say that to myself. I have different things to say to me. But you have to say that to you. You want to thrive? You want to steig? You got to know who you are. And not look at the whole world, this Adam Gadol. An Adam Gadol, it's a mitzvah to admire it, but he can kill you too. Now, Hutman used to speak about that. Now I'm going to tell you something unbelievable. There's a Hazel that Aaron HaKohen had Chalisha Sadas. Aaron HaKohen looked at the Nesiim, they're all better than me. He hurt him. Aaron HaKohen, believe it or not. You know what Davidson told him? You're better than all of them. What's going on? That's the way you talk. That's the Eibishter. Eibishter was a good mechanech, He knows what to say. The kind of chinuch that people need to hear. How do you say that? You're better than everybody? When you go to a drugstore, and what happened to Leiv Shesamach B'Gdulas Achiv? He's the one that bargains. He's so happy with his brother's success. And now he's hearing the opposite stuff. Does this make sense? Anybody have an answer for me? The answer is, everybody needs a different prescription. At that point, a person with Chalisha Sadas needs to do these things. It doesn't mean you're about Gaivanik, it's not true. You are focusing on all the greatness of that person, and you're ignoring yourself. You know how to do that. There's ayin panim l'Torah. There are so many ways of looking at things. Now look, I'm not saying this is true. I'm learning in BMG. And I have so much trouble learning. I learn for an hour and have to disappear for an hour because whatever. I am, what are they called? ADHD? I don't even know what they're called anymore. When I was a kid, we didn't have these labels. But whatever, I got one of those things, diagnosed with, and then I come back, and I open the Gemara, and I can't figure it out, and I spend my years learning like that. You tell me, what does your seichel tell you? There's another guy that I have to watch him all the time, my younger brother, and a lot of my friends, they're knocking, they put me in the garbage can, they finish Meseftas, and I'm still struggling. You tell me, what do you think is greater, me or them? Who do you think is better? I'm by far. We can't compare. I'm going to tell you the truth. The world lives, they suffer from not living with the truth. Rav Hutner once told Rav Aaron Kudler a story of a yid who had to struggle in learning. And he steigdois. And Rav Aaron Kudler burst out crying. And he said, I was always a star. It was easy for me. How can he have envy for that, Mr. Nobody? In the world of truth, the man who struggles is way ahead of the other guys. The day you weren't learning good, and the Gemara barely got into you, or you're sitting there back of the base medrash wishing you could, and it's not happening. Now you're a tzaddik. You're way ahead of Fum Tzaira Agra. The people believe in the Fum Tzaira Agra. They don't believe in it. They believe in the Fum Success Agra. Esav, that was his problem. Esav was Loshen Yasida. Either you did it or you didn't. People now, look, I'm going to speak now. I'm scared. I'll be honest with you. I'm not as cool as I seem. I want to tell you. I am the shyest person you ever met. Nobody believes me. I'll bring my wife here. She knows me. By nature, I'm super, super shy. I have a family of outgoing people. My father was a personality, and I was one of those. And people used to tell me, I look at your father, and they're both. So, I went to France, to Navarre. And Navarre is into breaking your midos. Go against your nature. That's the bread and butter. By the way, listen to this, it's worth hearing. They're the happiest people I ever met. They don't work on Simcha. They're not like that, so they're similar to the rest of them. It's different. They're basically the name Torah, except much more Muslim. Now, when you come home, the Seder, okay? What's the Seder all about? It's what kind of matzahs did you get? What did she cook? And the kids said Vanashtana good in front of Zaidi and Bubby and the little Bubba standing on the chair with the little payas over there and the tzitzis, and they smiled and everything. And everything worked out. That's a successful pace. Tati's learning, Mommy's this. Great. In the world of Navarre, that's not what it's all about. You know what Pesach is all about? How do you react when little Beryl, your nasty little 6-year-old that's turning over to school and you want to kick him out, spilled the wine all over Zaydi's kittel, and he acted chutzpahdik too. How are you going to react to that? That's what the Seder is all about. Your whole life is midos. Midos before anything. More important than all successes. Did you work on your midos? How's the kassis you doing? I speak to hundreds of people. And I have very successful people in all areas. But if they don't work on the midos, they're gonna reach a dead end. You don't work on your kas, oh boy. You know, I'm gonna tell you something. We're about to get married. Oh boy. Someone said this in public, they almost killed me. Get ready. Now you don't have to believe me. It's a true story. Please don't listen to what I'm saying. But it's a true story. It's fiction. Rabbi Gershon Liebman, he was my Rebbe in Avardi. He was beaten up by the Nazis, by the way. At this time, they found all different things missing. And no one knew. He was the happiest person you ever met. Because he was drowning in Musa, in the beauty of Chazal, of B'tachon. He was loaded with that. Hours, he would learn Musa for hours. And he was super happy. Nothing bothered him. He defied them. He spit in their face and got away with it. Stories about him, you'll never hear it. Now, he was in a different world. I once spoke to his driver. You don't have to believe this. And they were out of gas. They went like, okay, from here to Lakewood, that distance, maybe much further than that, almost double. From Paris to Busset, whatever it is. And suddenly, there's no gas. And Balagola told me the story. He says, Rabbeinu, they called Rabbi Gershon Rabbeinu, ain't po gas, there's no gas. No, top shift, keep going. Rabbeinu, ain't gas? I said, he goes, and 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 it's moving. And this goes on until it gets like from here to Lakewood, an hour's drive, you know, and there's nothing in there, and it's moving. And he says, okay, now let me get some gears. He says, well, what are you doing? He has to make another trip, the same amount. So he wants to stop, but no, nothing, keep going. And he takes another trip. It's a true story. He told it to me. Another hour and a half without gas until he's nervous and he wants to look at the thing, so again, don't look at that. Don't look, just keep going. And this one, he dropped off Rabbi Gershon and he says, hey, this is a new style around here. We're going to work without gas. It happens, I don't know how. And he went another miles and miles and miles and miles. Rabbi Gershon was out of the car and it was still working. Talking. And as soon as he took a peek, it was over. The reason why it was over because the fear. You have no idea the power of the talk. You think gas really works? Or it's the Yiddish? I'm going to tell you something. The copy play, the place that does my B'tachon weeklies, I once came in there and I was nervous. And suddenly the machine broke down. And this place nothing breaks down over there. BP graphics, you know what I'm talking about? That was a real professional. It broke down. I suspected something. I asked the guys, what do you tell me? If you got a nervous customer, does the machine take revenge? They laughed. Yes! I spoke to 5 different repairmen of these type of machines. They all laughed. Go ahead. They said 100%. You get a real nervous customer, suddenly the machine ain't working. You want to figure that out? I want you to know what B'tachon is real. Here comes a story. I'm the guy. I'm the Baal Mitzvah. This younger man calls me from New York. See this guy. He has a 3-year-old girl who has not moved since the day she was born. She can't eat. She can't move. She can't talk. She can't hear. She's out of it. She's a piece of clay, never. And he calls me up. What should I do? You know what I told him? You get together with your wife, and you get it. You learn a sefer on B'tachon. Hashem can do anything. Look at the Maccabees. Hashem. But they did. He can do that now too. What's the difference? If you learn a lot of Musa, you feel it more and more. So I told you do that 20 minutes a day with your wife. Cheer up. Make believe there's no problem. After 2 months, this girl started moving. After a year, she's walking around the house, smiling, talking, not that great. She's starting to digest. I was amazed myself. How'd you do it? He says, when you told me your mind has a power over the Mesiba, it made a big impression. That's how the B'tachon works. I can sit here for hours with my stories. I have I just had that. You're not going to believe this. This is really, it's the pits. Anybody ever hear of schizophrenia? It's real. It's a real thing. You know, if you want to know if somebody's really out of it. Okay, here goes. Now this happened to me, first of all. I had a debilitating disease, Chanukah. I had 4 doctors told me it's over for the rest of your life. I was like sort of, whatever, it was excruciating pain. They got a medication that was, with that medication, that was manageable. Now, every time the Chayvus HaBava says when you take medicine, you're not allowed to believe that it works. You're doing a mitzvah, b'shtadlus. You should do it. But don't believe in that medicine. Even a davar hamazik can cure you. You know who says that? Chayvus HaBava, Kad HaKemach, and the Maspik. 3 Rishonim say this. When you do a shtadlus, don't start turning the doctor into a god. Don't turn that vitamin bottle into the nice label and everything. It's baloney. It works because Hashem will make it work. Now, listen to this. Every time I took that medication, I said out loud, Eibishter, you are curing me, not that bottle. And this went on for months until one day I went to Eretz Yisrael and I forgot my bottle. I said, uh-oh, in 24 hours, it's over. Nothing happened. I was there for a week. I was cured. I came home, I threw out the bottle, I'm cured forever. You know why? Because I did not believe in the bottle, I believed in Hashem, and Hashem is still here without the bottle. I said this in public, and this guy calls me up and he says, Mandel, he has schizophrenia for 18 years. And he's never, he told me he had such a bad case, he's afraid to eat in public. He doesn't want people to see him. He's real heavy-duty schizophrenia, though. Very serious, clinical, right? When you hit clinical, it's over. People lose, okay, clinical, that's it. 18 years of this stuff. And his wife told him, you're a biscuit case, because you're so listless that your side effects. So, by he heard me, and he started saying, I don't believe in that bottle. I believe Hashem can cure schizophrenia. It's not the bottle. He did it 3-4 days. That was it. And he lost the bottle. Now, whenever he would lose that bottle, he was a horror. All the symptoms were full blast. After hearing that, he found the bottle. No, wait a minute. He didn't find the bottle. He lost the bottle, and he said, no, I was never samech on the bottle anyway. It was the Yehuda. It wasn't the medication. He was cured. This happened 5 months ago. He's 100. Do you believe it? Or you think, Mandel, this is way too much. Come on. This can't be true. I don't have that many stories like this. He's a winner. He's one of the better ones. But I have loads of stories like this. Okay, now, I'll just leave you with this. If you learn a lot, anybody can do this, by the way. If you spend time learning Sfarim on B'tachon, your brains are going to change. I once had in the family a sickness. The doctor said, a very aggressive whatever, I'm going to say. I closed my Gemara. And I spent hours every day learning Sfarim on B'tachon. I was shaking, it was scary. And this person was cured completely. The doctor told me it was 1 in 3,000. It was super aggressive. Would you learn B'tachon? You know what the lesson says? Ein davar ein b'lefnei B'tachon. Your B'tachon is stronger. I wasn't in an operation. And it was, but I worked on B'tachon. And it was terrible, my foot. A few doctors saw it, they said, oh, this is a bad case. And I had, for the rest of my life, I was just whatever. I couldn't do what I'm doing now. So I worked on B'tachon. And my Rabbi told me that B'tachon works better than operations. And he meant it. I know he lived like that himself. My Rabbi, by the way, Rabbi Schwartz was a person that lived in his sleep. He was so full of simcha. because he learned so much Muslim on Betach. He was so, the way he married all his kids, he was a different world. He had a problem in the family. Oh, let's finish my story. What was I saying? Where am I going? It's okay. So, now, there's two things that the Rabbi was all about. One is Betachim, and the other one is not looking for covet. That's a killer. Looking for covet is dangerous to your health. If you're not looking for covet, you're not going to get up in the morning. You better be a person who needs covet. It's normal. But sometimes and often, covet can kill you physically. People who are afraid. Am I making a good impression? Better say yes. You know, people are so worried about the impression that they're making. It kills them. It puts them in a straitjacket. There's only one reason I'm speaking. I'm still very shy. I'm speaking only because I was taught, put your covet in sakana. Be mafkir your covet. It's a covet issue. I'm going to walk out of here. First thing, they're going to come over to me. It was really good. The guy really liked it. Sure. You're just saying it, or you really mean it? No, you were good. You were good. And if you're not good, now if you're looking for covet, you better perform. What happens if it didn't go? Dave, I always see a guy in the back. He just took out a pillow. Oh, the guy next to him looks like he's falling asleep. Uh-oh. I don't think I made a good impression of it. This is terrible. Now, that's the way people are. All they care about is covet. Every move you make is coveted. What are people going to say? And the reason why I'm up here is because I'm at a war against covet. Don't run after covet. Sometimes you should, because it'll make you function. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it'll kill you. Not looking for covet is a blessing. You're a different person. I am here. When I walk out, I'm going to walk over to the Yehuda and I say, Yehuda, I tried my best. You were happy. And if the guys didn't like it so much, I get 100 times more schar. If the guys didn't like it, and I was good and boring, and I saw the guys falling asleep in the back, I'm going to get 100 times more schar. Toy pam achas betzar mi meya pam belitzar. Does anybody believe in that? If you learn a lot of Musa, kicks in, you stop believing it, you don't mind. You risk your covet all the time. You're in a different world. You're serving Hashem. We want to be like the Maccabes. The Maccabes were Mesiba nefesh. You know what Mesiba nefesh means? Going against your nature. You know what Mesiba nefesh is? If you're a kaisin, if you're an angry type of person, I can cure you, by the way. I have my Rabbi's are always working. This is when they meet each other. The main question is not how's your wife and the kids doing, how's Parnasa. Oh no, how's your covet issue doing? How's your kinna, tyler, covet? Are you still jealous of so and so or not? You are so much healthier and happier. If what's dominating your life, working on your midas, more than all the nachas in the universe, how are you going to handle it? Hashem gives you a family that's not quite as good as the other. How are you going to live with it? But if you're not there to show off to the world, but it's been it's the Shem Shemayim, the Shem Shemayim. The main Shem Shemayim is testing you. Can you deal with such a situation? But something that's difficult for you. There's a kinna. You got a younger brother who's the best guy in yeshiva, and you're barely making it. How you were born for one reason. How are you going to deal with that? And I saw this myself. Two brothers close in age in the Vardik. One of them was very talented, big Talmud Chacham both ends. The other guy wasn't so much. I saw the guy wasn't so much. When the talented brother used to sing in public, he would always put a what do you call them? A tape recorder to tape him. Dafka, to go against his nature. I love this stuff. I'm breaking my midas. That's why I was born. I'm going against my nature. And then he would report to the Rosh this is what I did today. Wow, that's great. Do it again. Boy, this guy will embarrass me in public. I once saw two varieties kissing each other in the street. And everybody knows when they're kissing overboard, somebody hurt someone else's feelings. And what do? Instead of being upset, love him. Copy, everybody's waiting for Mashiach, David HaMelech. What's David HaMelech all about? He loves all his enemies. Let's see you do that. I tell the kids in my class, I have 9-year-old kids. I tell them, boys, how many boys in this class have somebody in their family that they can't stand? All the hands go up. Rabbi, I'd like to take my sister and flush her down the toilet. Rabbi, my brother, is he terrible? He always rips up my toilet like this. I want to throw it in the garbage, Rabbi. The kids are, they all know what I'm talking about. Every human being has these things. It says, boys, that's your favorite sibling. You were born to conquer your own Yetzer Hara, the only real enemy in your life is your own Yetzer Hara. Your brother's just a test. He's a puppet. Now Shem's hands to see. You gonna get angry? So I get the kids, every Yom Kippur, everybody gets a colorful pen, and they have to give it davka to the guy they don't like. And things turn around. People work in them either suddenly they like each other. I think that's enough. Thanks for listening, Rabbi Stein. And it's a pleasure talking to you guys. It's sweet like anything. And I give you a bracha, my bracha's work. I keep saying that my bracha's work. You know why? Never, Rabbi Miller says, never verbalize a negative statement. Don't do it. It ain't healthy. Better a positive lie than a negative truth. I do it all the time. I never, ever, if I have a bad day at school, never do I tell my wife. You ask her. The only way she knows what's going on a little bit, if I come home and say, oh, I had such a great day today. Uh-oh. What really happened? I'm always doing that. You know how much power words have? When you say, well, you got to face reality. You do have this problem. I never do that stuff. You make it worse. I always lie. You know how many people I lied about, they turned around? How many difficult kids? I told the parents, I just got phone calls. I told the parents, you have this difficult kid? Behind the back, say how great he is. I just heard this last week. I was just on the phone with him today. He wants me to take myself. Here it is. Okay. Maybe there's some hope. He tells me like this. He tells me he has a son that's a nasty kid. He's on these smartphones that he shouldn't be. He's playing with their friends. He's a chutzpah to his mother. He's got 10 different, he's turning over the house. It's a Shrek. He says, Mandel, what should I do with him? Don't talk to him. You're not going to get anywhere, all right? No way. Make it worse. Behind his back, you're going to talk to your wife about, or to yourself, anybody. You're going to say positive. You're going to lie through your teeth. Oh, he's such a wonderful boy. Look how well behaved he is. Keep lying. Look how nice he is. In a month or two, everything he said behind the kid's back came true. Suddenly, I don't like cell phones. They're not kosher. I don't, what do you call them? Smartphones. And suddenly he goes over to his mother, Mommy, I was such derech eretz. Why got into this kid? Behind his back, the father kept raving over the kid. I've seen refuahs with this. Refuah shalom is mamish. You talk about the power of words. Risk crucial for science. Words are real. They're alive. They're powerful. You can change a person's life. I never say anything negative. Never. I had the worst day. Oh, I'm doing great. And that's called the tachon. You get a mitzvah. You're working up a tachon. And you're working an ayin tova. You're trying to see good things where the Yetzer Hara tells you, look how terrible it is. Especially yourself. Have an ayin tova on yourself. Because you deserve it. You have to see your milas. Everyone's busy looking at everyone else's. Oh, he's a great guy. By the way, I'd like to talk about myself just for 1 second. I'm going to stop, but I just want to talk about myself. I want everybody here to know that I happen to be an unusually good person. I am a piece of gold. I have such a good heart. I really do. And I'm smart. I'm people like me, and I'm respected. I'm unreal. I can't get over myself. I'm such a successful person you never saw in your life. I don't think there's anybody near my Dalit Amos. For sure, when I come to a chassan and I hear them playing Yom and Melech, I know who it is. I know for sure. That's me. You know, I called the Chevra Kadisha recently in Yerushalayim, and they told me the biggest problem they've had the last few years to find a gravestone big enough for me to write all the good stuff about me, and they still can't find. I am so unbelievable. Now, I sound funny. How many people do that with others? Everybody does. I can't go on. He's choshev. How about yourself? What's wrong with doing that? It's gaiva? Rav Sharma told me, if you give Hashem credit, it's not gaiva. Not only that, you're thankful to Hashem for what you have instead of playing yourself down. You know, people become 2% of what they could because they're busy looking at everyone else, reading books about Gedolei Yisrael that get them good and depressed. You want to get depressed? Meir Hershkowitz from Lakewood, he had to give a hesped on Rabbi. He didn't say one word about his learning. He didn't mind getting the whole lot depressed. You can't do that. Hashem doesn't want you to be. Rabbi was a genius. Instead, stories that we can relate to about chesed. You got to talk about Gedolei. It's a mitzvah, but it's a bigger mitzvah to talk about yourself. How do you know who's bigger? There's Ayin Panim L'Torah. Maybe you're bigger. There is a case proving you to be the best guy in the world. And you have a chiyuv to know all the chazals. Let's say you're a Baal Chesed, you're not such a Torah, you never learned for whatever reason. You got to know all the chazals about Chesed. And keep away from the chazals about learning. That's for your friend who's good in learning and not good in Chesed. He has to know those and chazed them and believe in them and play down the Chesed guys. And you Chesed play down the learning guys. It won't hurt if you learn from each other. That's a different story. If you can. But while you can't, that's what Hashem wants you to do. This is a lot of hard work. And this is a yom tov of thankfulness. And the first thank you is, thank you, Rabbi. I told you I was mastered by my mother. My mother was a super tzaddikus. My mother, and guess she was zeichet to have a son like me. Really, what a tzaddikus. She was zeichet for me. You know who I am? You want to hear more about me? I can go on and on. I never get bored, I don't know about you guys. Anyway, after I blow myself up into a giant elephant, you know that I know relationships. I know young man used to suffer for one of his sons, a teenage boy. And he suffered a lot. You know what I told him one day? You know why you're suffering so much? In your eyes, he's a jumbo elephant and you're a mouse. It ain't working. You gotta work on your self-esteem, buddy. You gotta help him and yourself. You gotta blow yourself up and remember your miles and put him in his place. Don't turn him into a god because he's so smart and so this, so that. What about you? You make yourself bigger than him. And it's hard work. And play him down. Don't be scared. If Hashem told Aaron and Cain, you're bigger than all of them. No? You know what the Chavos Shabbat says? All the Bachrim have to say, Baruch Hashem, I'm not married. Those poor married guys have money, have to worry about parnasa, have to deal with this lady, you have to eat her food, and your buttons are popping. Baruch Hashem, I'm a bar. Chavos Shabbat says this, play down all the married people. And of course, the married guy don't do that. The married guy has to speak just the opposite. You say, never those Bachrim. He's going around those shidduch, I'm Baruch Hashem married. Then he says, all the poor guys. All the poor guys have to say, it's so wonderful not to have money. These rich guys, they have no friends. They think no one really likes them. And they have no day, no night, because everyone wants them for their money. They don't know if their heads are spinning. Chavos Shabbat says this. All the poor guys have to look down. Never these rich guys in shul. I'm Baruch Hashem, a poor guy. I couldn't care less. I'm more humble. It's better. I'm poor. And the rich guys, they're not allowed to talk like that. Rich guys have to say, oh, Hashem, I have money. It's a beginning. It's a sign Hashem likes me. You know, I had trouble. Never the poor guys. I had trouble lighting my nares. try again, oh, pick it up, do this, didn't work. My gut reaction was, Hashem doesn't like me. See, it's not working out there, and I better yesterday, I'm getting payback. That's the Yetzer Hara! You know what I did? I said, when things go rough, it's like what Avraham Avinu, Hashem made it hard to him. They lead in schar, I'll call psia. I want to give you more schar. I'm making it dafka hard because you're a tzaddik. And tomorrow, when it's going to go easy, I'm not going to say, I'm Mr. Nobody, it should go hard. No. It went easy because I have siyata shmaya. By me, everything goes well. Never that guy is, maybe Hashem doesn't like him, I don't know. But I'm the good guy. Whatever happens to you, you gotta be positive. Only positive. Only, Rabbi Galinsky told me, by Hashem, everything is good. But you have to work at it. Yetzer Hara is on your case, especially sins. A sin will wipe you out. If you're gonna look, you're gonna make it worse than it is, and you're gonna blow it up, and you're gonna think about it all day. I know a big guy with Hashem. He has his weaknesses. And he works so hard, and he succeeds, and then he falls. And all he thinks about all day is when he fell. And all success, that's nothing, but you have to work on myself. It's the Yetzer Hara to do that. Arthur Sadiq says, if you are happy with your mitzvahs, you're going to get 1,000 times more schar if you're happy with your mitzvahs. Don't get involved in Averos unless there's a practical solution and you're going to do something positive about it. It's a different ballgame. Anyway, I spoke way more than enough. It's so nice of you to listen to me. Old guys love to speak. They get covered. I think all you guys should be therapists. You're such good listeners. Or maybe it could be I'm a good speaker. Whatever it is. You should have a happy Chanukah. And I give you brachas. You're going to sing my brachas word. And I want you to call me up and tell me I was right. You're going to have a new life starting right now. I'm dead serious. I love all you guys. I want you all to steigen everything. Ruchnius, Gashmius. I want you to have Mesiba. This is what Matisyo said, Matisyo Salman from Lakewood, is the only yaltid where you say, Arachim, give us Mesiba. It's part of the Nusach. If you forget to say Ala Nisim, then you say Bayil Aratzin, Arachimon, Uyas, Alon, Nisim, and a voice. Give me Nisim. I want an S. That's the only yaltid. Look at that. You know what I said? Guess who says it? The guy who remembered Al-Anisim doesn't get to say it. The Shamazel, the guy that's doing everything wrong, you forgot again? He's the guy that gets to say it. Hashem likes those people. They're the best. Don't look for trouble. You guys are so lucky to have a man like this. Oh, where is it? Reb Tovia, here you are. I want to say thank you. Beautiful, everything. Especially to Johnny. I want to thank you for Johnny. My pleasure. My pleasure.